I feel that engagement is the only way we're going to survive as a society, so I don't even feel it's a key argument. I think it's a practicable way of surviving in any kind of sustainable way, working together. It's clearly an imperative that what we have now as a system is not working. In terms of political engagement, people are not voting, young people feel that it's got nothing to do with them. I think that there is an enormous amount of evidence that society is becoming more and more fragmented. I think in the UK there has been the view towards engagement that somehow we are targeting those who are not normally engaged. I think that's a kind of an assumptive and incorrect way of seeing the world. I think we need to engage with each other as opposed to engaging with a particular agenda. And what that means, therefore, is that we need to address the power imbalances of engagement. If one has power and is engaging with one who doesn't have power, that's not engagement. That's feeding someone into a particular way of thinking. It's weak models of consultation do the same thing, simply asking you what you would like. So I think people need to feel that there's something in it for them to engage. There's an exchange present. Well, I work in the arts, so I've got decades of experiences of inspiring examples of, say, young people or people who would not normally be engaged. But I think right now it's more important to engage with the people who think they don't need to be engaged because they already are. So, for example, political leadership or people who lead on public services, for example. My most inspiring example would be a leadership program that I initiated in a city in the UK, Peterborough, in which leadership across the whole city. So that's leadership in health, police, fire, that's the voluntary services like Mind, that's Thomas Cook, some of the private organisations, that's head teachers, that's GPs, and that's the chief executive of the city. And for the last over 3 years, they've been getting together on a regular basis, once every 6 weeks, to have open and honest conversations about how to engage with each other so that they make more of a difference to the city. So their mantra that they created for themselves is, if we don't do it, who will? So they recognize that they need to change the way that they work in order for a citizen on the ground, a resident in Peterborough, to experience any change. I think projects that look at targeting a particular group like Pakistani women or young people who are not in education, employment or training are inevitably band-aids, and we need to look at more systemic ways of who we include when we think about engagement, and that should include, of course, Pakistani mothers and young people not in education or training, but it should also include the chief of police, someone who's a fire officer. So I think it's more the important way forward is to look at the diversity of people who are involved in that conversation about engagement rather than specific one-off projects that hopefully will make a difference but won't be sustainable.